Okay, so in the previous video, we talked about scientific method and we come up with the word matter. So in this video, we are going to talk about the classification of matter. So as we talked about it, chemistry is the study of matter, and it's the study of matter by studying the behavior of atoms and molecule. So once again, what is matter? Matter is anything which has mass and it takes up space. Okay, so if you can touch it, it is certainly a matter. So if you can touch something, it definitely have a mass, and that's a matter. But what about the things that you cannot touch? For example, what about air? So if you cannot touch it, does that mean it doesn't take up space? So if you think about a balloon, when you blow in a balloon, you see it's become bigger. So you see it's taking up some space. If you put that balloon in a container of water, you see the water is coming out, which means the balloon is taking up space. Well, actually the balloon is not taking up space, the air is taking up the space. So the air is matter. So as you see, matter is a very large category. So in order to study matter, you have to put it into different categories. So when we see anything falls into this category, we know what are the properties. So we are going to categorize matter by state and by composition. In this video, we are going to classify matter by state. Okay, so think about a solid state. Which of these three best define the solid state? So if you choose A, which is the right answer, you know that a solid has a definite shape and a definite volume. But why? Why the solid has definite shape and definite volume? So we're going to study deeper into the molecular level to see why this happens. Okay, so matter has three different states: solid, liquid, and gas. The first one we're going to talk about is a solid. In solid state, atoms or molecules are very close together. They cannot move past each other. Well, we cannot say they do not move because they have vibration, but they cannot move past each other. They're connected together, so that's why, since they don't move past each other, they cannot change the shape. So they have a definite shape and also a definite volume. Well, we have amorphous and crystalline solid. Amorphous solids are the ones that doesn't have like a regular or a definite geometry. Crystalline are easier to understand and study, and we're going to study more about this in CHE 110. Solid state is a condensed state, which means you cannot compress it any further. So it has the volume that it has, it cannot be changed. The second state is a liquid state. In a liquid state, atoms or molecules are close together, but they can freely move past each other. So although they're touching each other, but they can move past each other. So that's why it can change the volume. It doesn't have a definite volume. So if you think about a glass of water, if you have a round glass, your water shape is round. But if you pour the same, like if you have, I don't know, 6 ounces of water, if you pour the same amount of water into a square glass, you see the shape changes to square, but the volume is still 6 ounces. So it has a definite volume, but no definite shape. Liquid is also a condensed state. It means you cannot compress it any further. The volume is fixed. The last phase is gas. In gas phase, atoms or molecules are very far from each other. So as you can see in the picture, you see 4 atoms, which is an exaggeration. We definitely have more than that. So if you think about it, when we define atoms, they are submicroscopic particles. So they're very, 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 very small in nanoscale. So we have lots of atoms in that container, but relative to the size of the atom, they are very far from each other. So they don't have a definite shape and not a definite volume. Because they are far from each other, you can compress them and make them have less volume. You can compress them further until you reach the liquid state to change the volume. And they also have they also don't have a definite shape. So if you think about the same example like a balloon that has air in it, so you see you can squish it, so you can change the volume, you can compress it. In gas phase, also just like liquid, atoms and molecules can move past each other freely, and it's very compressible as we talked about it because they have all of these space between the atoms. It can be compressed. So this was the end of our second video about classification by state, classification of matter by state.